The Sweethearts. A top and a ball lay amongst the other toys in a box. "Let's be sweethearts, as we live in the same box," said the top to the ball. But the ball, who wore a dress of the finest leather, thought herself superior and did not reply. Next day, the little boy who owned the toys took out the top and painted it red and gold. He hammered a brass nail into the middle of it and set it spinning. Oh, it looked marvellous. "Look at me," said the top to the ball. "What about it? We are so well suited. You jump, I dance. Together we are bound for happiness. Let's be sweethearts." "Please," said the ball, "obviously you do not know that my father and mother were Moroccan slippers, and that I have a Spanish cork in my body." "I'm made of mahogany," said the top. "The mayor himself turned me." "Is that the truth?" asked the ball. "Let me be whipped again if it isn't," answered the top. "You can turn a phrase, I'll give you that," said the ball. "But I'm as good as engaged to a swallow. Every time I fly up in the air, he puts his head out of the nest and says, 'Will you?' And I've decided to say yes. And that's as good as being half engaged. But I promise to think about you." "Much good that's going to do me," said the top, and they didn't speak again. The next day, the boy was playing with the ball. The top watched it flying like a bird, high up into the air and out of sight. Each time it came back and hit the ground, it leaped higher than before. The 9th time it rose into the air, and it did not return. The boy looked everywhere for it, but it could not be found. The ball was gone. "I know where she is," sighed the top. "She is in the swallow's nest and has married the swallow." The more the top thought of the ball, the more his love increased, because he could not have her. The top twirled and hummed, and in his memory the ball became even more beautiful than she had been. Thus several years passed. The top was no longer young, but then one day he was repainted, gilded all over. He had never looked so handsome. He twirled, whirled, and hummed. He really was something else. One day he leaped too high, and then he was gone. They looked everywhere, even in the cellar, but he was nowhere to be found. Where could he be? He had jumped into the dustbin with all the rubbish, cabbage stalks, dust, and the rain that had fallen down from the gutter under the roof. "I'm in trouble," he said. "In here my gold will soon be washed off. Oh dear, in here I'm surrounded by nothing but rags and rabble." Next to him lay a round, mouldy thing, like an old apple. Only it was not an apple, it was the ball. She had lain there for years and was soaked through with rain. "Thank goodness, here comes someone of my own kind," said the ball, examining the gilded top. "I am made of the finest leather. No one would think it looking at me now, but I was made by a young lady, and I have a Spanish cork in my body. I was once engaged to a swallow, but I fell in here from the gutter under the roof. I've been here 5 years, and I've been thoroughly soaked through. And 5 years is a long time for a young maiden." The top said nothing, but the more the ball spoke, the more he knew her as the ball from the toy box. Just then a servant came to clean the dustbin. "Hello, there's the gilded top," she exclaimed. So the top was saved. This time he was brought into the living room. No one ever spoke again of the old ball, and the top never mentioned his love for her either. When one's true love has lain 5 years in the gutter and has been soaked through and through, she is not what she was. One's love is bound to die.